Hi, it's Alaska Granny. It's a great idea to keep track of the news worldwide so that we know what things could be happening. I recently read an article in Blue Book Services, Violence Disrupts Mexican Produce Exports. In Mexico, authorities have captured one of the Sinaloa cartel leader's sons, the former El Chapo, and the arrest has sparked violence in many parts of Mexico. Unfortunately, that means that roadblocks and temporary business closures are interfering with efforts of strawberry and bell pepper growers trying to ship their products to the U.S. Besides Mexico, Peru is having violent protests against their president. Protests in Peru have resulted in asparagus, grapes, and berries all having delays. Even here at home in the U.S., despite a solid start for Florida's strawberry season, volume out of Mexico and California is historically low. Average prices of strawberries are up 9% over the previous week, and they're climbing higher, not only due to the cartel violence, but we know that there have been terrible storms and floods in California. Cucumbers are also in short supply, and the prices have shot up 47% in 1 week. Cucumbers come not only from Florida, but Honduras and Mexico. Squash is also being affected. The prices are up 30% for squash, and hopefully the Central American production will pick up in the next few weeks if you're looking for some nice, beautiful squash in the store. I also was reading that Canadians in Mexico are advised to take shelter as cartel violence breaks out in the streets. The Canadians in Mexico are told to limit their movements, shelter in place. The violence in Sinaloa is particularly dangerous in places such as Mazatlan and Los Mochis. Airports in Culiacan and Mazatlan have experienced suspended flights and airport closures. There's burning cars, gunfire, threats of essential infrastructure, and just chaos. It's so sad for the people of Mexico, and surprisingly, why are only Canadians being warned? You'd think it would be people from all countries. In light of this news, make sure that you're taking an inventory of your stockpile of fruits and vegetables. Go through your cans. Make sure that you have a wide variety and that you're rotating them. Do you have canned fruits, canned tomatoes, canned vegetables? Maybe you want to look at having products that are also made from these foods, such as jellies and jams. Maybe you want to have a stockpile of dried figs, plums, pineapple, apricots. There's all kinds of dried fruits that are delicious. Maybe you want to stock up on little cups of applesauce. And then always there are the freeze-dried and dehydrated fruits and vegetables that you can buy from places like Augustin Farms, from the LDS Church. I even have a few here from Emergency Essentials. You can tell some of these have been in my stockpile for a while because the labels don't look like that anymore. Be aware that there are disruptions in the supply chain of fruits and vegetables. There are weather problems affecting the harvest. Take this opportunity to add to your long-term food storage stockpile. Be sure also that you are not just stockpiling food, but you're rotating the food. You're using it and replacing it so that you ensure that you have some fresh food on hand when you need it. Canned foods have a date on them, a best by, use by, sell by date, and many canned foods will last far longer than the date on the package. But don't count on buying foods today and putting them away for 30 years and just hoping that they're going to be fine, because foods degrade over time. It's not designed to last forever just in a can of fruits and vegetables. You can have them last several years, but if you want the longest lasting, you need some of the freeze-dried and the dehydrated foods that are packed to last the longest. Be adding to your stockpile, but also make sure that you're using, rotating, and replacing the foods that you count on having. It's a good idea to pay attention to the news so that you have an idea of maybe a focus of a food group or an item that you want to add to your stockpile before those things become either unavailable or unaffordable. Leave us a comment. What are you finding in your area that you can help us be up to date on things we should be looking for to add to our long-term food storage prepper pantry? If you enjoyed my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else you think might like it. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.